Welcome to the channel, Chronocosmonomy Research Project, independent research into science, primarily focusing on astronomy, physics, cosmology, chronology, quantum physics, quantum mechanics. And here, I hope that we agree to respect, self-respect, and mutual respect, and to be open-minded. And the subject which we're going to jump off of will be the starting point of 3-eye atlas. And that's not three-eyed atlas, it's 3-eye, the eye for interstellar object, and atlas is just the observatory with the telescope that first discovered the object, and it's located in Chile, which is South America, and that's why they call it Atlas. And it is an interstellar object for the I abbreviation, and that means it was determined by the calculating the orbit, which is hyperbolic, and as opposed to parabolic, which is a normal shape for the course of an average comet. A hyperbolic is not really considered a comet, although they can say, oh, it's a comet, but what kind of a comet is that never returns? Now, unless it changes course, which we don't think it will, when you project it backwards to its origin point and forwards, it has such a shape that it only comes through here once. It doesn't come back around. So that means it's a very obtuse angle, or not an acute angle, because an acute angle would make it go in a closed loop. In the case of hyperbolic, it is an unclosed loop. So if you project that way out into the future, like they say, it's going to go to another star system. So now I'm rambling on into 3-eye atlas as if this is the subject. It's not the subject. It's just the jumping off point. What I wanted to talk about, what I'm going to talk about in here, and it's not going to be that long of a video, because right now in my part of the world is the remnants of several hurricanes. And there have been 3 storms, hurricane class storms. One was a tropical depression, I think, but there were 3 systems that were separate but very close together, and that's what I'm in the midst of right now. It's doesn't seem to be that bad. It's not going to be so much rain, and it's not going to be so much wind. It's just going to be a mild amount. And I think in the cities of Boston and New York and Hartford, Providence, out on Cape Cod, the islands, it's going to be a lot worse. So, having said that, it really doesn't affect what I'm doing right now. I just wanted to give you a date. That's the time marker on this. And the real subject is going to be about what is science, what is the human consciousness, and that's really the subject of chronocosmonomy. That's the ultimate goal. It's under the umbrella or the auspices of a larger study that is called civilologia, or in more the Anglo transliteration, civilology, as in logi, logos from the Greek, but also whatever, linguistically. So in that study, we're trying to always be aware of the human mindset within the human civilization, because that frames everything that we do and everything we think about ourselves, about the things in the world, and, well, the world being on the earth. And then it also has a big influence on the way we think about the larger universe, the sky, and what's in outer space. So, the human consciousness, or the attitude, the position that humanity thinks it's in to understand the universe, happens to suffer from arrogance. Now, hold on. Nobody likes to be called arrogant, especially myself, and I've been called arrogant millions of times. And I wear it like a badge of honor. But it's not really something to be proud of. I'm only saying it that way because I'm not really arrogant. When I think of the other person's perspective, they're saying, "Oh, you think you know too much. You're a know-it-all," or and they don't think that I'm really that way. I'm not really that confident. I'm not really from that authoritative position. So they're saying, "Oh, it's arrogance." It's a matter of opinion. See? Arrogance is not like an absolute. It's not like we did an actual scientific test to find out who's better than somebody else, or who's smarter, or who's wiser, or who's more practical or more skilled. We didn't do it. It's just a matter of opinion. And then I realized, yeah, I can wear it like a badge of honor because I really don't care. It's just my style of delivery. And yeah, I do have a lot of confidence. It's around 99.9% confidence. If somebody isn't like that, then check yourself. It's probably because you're disturbed that, and I don't mean you, but somebody that calls somebody else arrogant is being disturbed that they don't have as much confidence. So they're being like blown away by the confidence. Guess what? For most people that get called arrogant, they're not the ones with the problem. I know that's not a popular stance to take because usually the masses or the majority that point at some, "Oh, see, that's arrogant. Like, it's just got to cast him out because he makes all of us feel insecure, and he has a superiority complex," like that kind of thing. But when I'm saying that humanity has an arrogance, what am I doing? Can I do that? Can one person point at the majority, the collective, and say, even if it's an opinion, but can they really formulate this idea that the whole humanity is arrogant? Yes. Yeah, it is. It can be valid. And I'll tell you why. Because of humanity's attitude about what it thinks it knows in the scheme of the bigger universe, the reality, the truth. Do we really have it? Do we grasp it? Do we earn it by doing all the effort, everything we needed to do to get a grip on that reality and be like the masters of all of it, to rule over it? Are we qualified? Are we capable? What have we done to prove? Okay, you see where I'm going with this? So you should know, if you're a thinking person and you've seen enough of the world, you should know that humanity is not smart enough. Humanity is not wise enough. Humanity is being ruled over by a bunch of morons. So, yes, humanity is in this phase of being very, very, very arrogant. Did I say very enough? Look at the pollution, look at the wars, look at the economy in shambles and hyperinflation and going into a global depression. And I mean, it's like, it's pretty obvious that humanity's in a mess. And yet they still have these high priests pushing out this dogma from the halls of science that, oh yes, we're the superior species, we're the most intelligent, blah 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 blah. I'm being sarcastic by quoting them, paraphrasing them, because I don't agree. I have thought for a long time, in fact, since the beginning, as long as I can remember, down to a baby, the youngest possible thoughts that I had in my embryonic and formative phase. Those thoughts were very critical, assessing the situation that I saw in front of me, the world at large, humanity. And I was thinking, this is a crazy place run by crazy people. Yeah, they're adults, and I'm going to become an adult one day, and now I am an adult, still with that innocence and curiosity, which will never go away. It'll be within there. But in my mature wisdom from my many years of experience, the child that I was has turned out to be correct, accurate, right all along. There's something wrong with humanity. And as I said, some of it is due to the arrogance. And arrogance may be a symptom. It may not be the whole thing. It's just one way of looking at it. And there's a deeper overall problem. And I'm not necessarily going to get like religious here. You know what? I just woke up. It's the middle of the night. And as I usually do, I have a polyphasic sleep system. So, I didn't know I was going to talk so much, but this kind of arrogance is what I have to dispel. I have to cure this arrogance from humanity. And I hope that you stay with me. I hope that you come along on this journey if you're able to hack it. And not many can. You are the few, the proud, the brave. Forget the Marines. You are the troopers that I want. You are the real ones. You would succeed and be better and stronger in the mind and the soul, also the body if you try. You are going to be stronger than those soldiers that blindly follow orders by their arrogant bosses, arrogant rulers. So we need to keep on this. And so the cure, part of it, is going to be right here. I'm going to tell you, and this should be a standalone short video. The solution to humanity's arrogance is going to be the opening of the mind from the closed-minded state that it's in, that fallen state. The open-mindedness has to allow for the things that we don't know, so that when we come across them, we seek them, we can then accept it. Instead of being closed-minded and thinking that we know too much. We're not that knowledgeable, okay? I've already proven it. You can listen to the whole spiel that I did. We're in a very horrible state. This is a crisis. This thing that's going on in the world now is just a crying shame. So it has something to do with arrogance, has something to do with closed-mindedness, and the fact that science is not what it's cracked up to be. Now, having said that, I am a scientist, and I use the real scientific method. And I don't care what anybody else says. I don't need a university to tell me that. I've been studying all my life. So it's what it is. This is what I'm encouraging people to do. If you're in higher education, matriculated, or if you're not, or you're in between, you do it sometimes, you're part-time, you didn't finish, you might come back, you did go back and forth. That's okay. That is totally okay, because in other things of your life, you do complete it. Going day to day, year to year, and you're surviving on your own, you did complete it. It's called the School of Hard Knocks. Now, where is the root and where is the cause of the arrogance? It comes from those places that people are led to believe when they go through the dogma, or they go through the indoctrination and they believe the dogma, then they are some greater person in the society. Woohoo! Yeah, you paid the money, wasted the money. Did you come out really any better, any smarter? No, you don't know anything about the universe. The universe right now, as I've examined thousands of books, hundreds of thousands of pages of information, books and internet, and real life conversations with average people, professors, authors, etc., etc. There's so much that we don't know. And we need to ask the right questions. Instead of taking the position of being closed off, closed-minded, and we're arrogant, humanity is arrogant. Instead of that, open up. Open to the questions, the right questions that are going to help us gain a better grip on reality. Because we don't have it yet. We don't. We're about to totally lose our grip. And I don't want to be pessimistic. I'm being a realist. And I've been a realist since the beginning. And I'm sick and tired of the wrong rulers influencing everybody else. It's time for real leaders to step up. So that's what I'm doing, and we can organize and get together, and that's what it's going to be. I know that there's a lot of driving forces and different things and signing the deals with the devil, and that makes it a lot easier. That's why they've been winning. But it's not a guaranteed win for them. It's just kind of a temporary lowest common denominator situation. We get to a point where we have to do something very difficult to get out of the problem that they've been causing, this snowball effect, that it gets worse and worse. It's like a vicious cycle. They're ruining the planet. They're ruining society. It's getting out of control. Even though they think they have a control on it, because what? They're making money. They're all becoming billionaires. And those are the rulers. They control. And everybody else is just kind of going along with it because those are the weaker people. The masses. Just being led along. Led to the slaughter, in a way. I hate to say that, but that's what's going on. And it ain't me. I ain't going for that. I never have, never will. That's not the way I was created by destiny. My job is to tell you how to get to the truth, to give you a little bit of it so you recognize it, and then you're going to go for it yourself. You're going to be able to seek it. You're going to be on that path. It's a narrow path, but you're going to be able to get on that path. Now, back to 3i Atlas. Why did I go through this whole thing? And I've been talking a lot. What? How many? 20 minutes. No wonder why I'm out of breath doing these monologues. So 3i Atlas. We don't know. And it is the horrific, terrible arrogance for anybody to say that they know what's going on, even using all their instrumentation and gathering empirical evidence and saying, well, we know what it is. You don't know what it is. I'll give you a lot of points that no one has really talked about. This is the third object that is classified as interstellar object because of the hyperbolic orbit. And that's the only reason why it's considered that. It's the only reason. It's kind of flimsy that there's only one condition that it has to meet, but that's another thing that we don't really know. Now, if there's three, and only because that they were able to be detected prior to the first one, Oumuamua, in October 2017. This one, 3i Atlas, was discovered on July 1st, 2025 of this year, which is just several months ago. Oumuamua was discovered in I think it was the autumn or maybe the summer of 2017, and it came to perihelion and its closest approach past the Earth around, I think it was October 17th, October 18th, 2017. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just don't have it off the top of my head. So this is, about 5 years ago, and then they discovered another one and another one. So there's three that have been identified and observed. Now, at that rate, if there's three every 5 years, that means going back the past 50 years before that, 2017, going all the way back to 20, what would that be, 77? I mean, 1977? So in those 50 years, that's 10 times 3. There should have been 30 other objects at the rate. If I know it's not like a huge pool of statistics, but if that is the rate, just hypothetically or roughly, crudely averaged out, then in the 50 years before that, there would have been 30 other objects. This has to be talked about because in the next 5 years, from until 2030, we should see 3 more objects. And do they all behave the same way? What I mean is that if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear it, does it really fall? It doesn't make a sound. If we don't see something in the universe because we're just unaware of it, what effect did it have? Was it really there? So we don't know these things. And it's sort of like the same, and I was going to get into quantum mechanics also. They did experiments, and it's also like Schrodinger's cat, if you know that thought experiment. And when they look for something like an electron and there's where it's going to be, and then when they observe it, it does something, seems to do something just because of the observer having a thought. So is the consciousness affecting the subatomic particles? Or how can the subatomic particle do that? And with the Schrodinger's cat, it says in the box, there's the cat. Is it dead or is it alive? Or is it both? We don't know until we look. Then when we look, what is it going to be? So then they concluded, well, it's both dead and alive. until we look, it's in the box. It's dead and alive. So this is a paradox. And how do we solve it? So there's several things that came out of that in quantum mechanics. Very, very fascinating. But the whole question or the principle, or it's a riddle of reality, the whole thing affects how we're going to look at the universe. And until we get a firm grip or grasp on these things, then we don't really know what's going on. We certainly don't know what's going on with 3i Atlas. And to say that we know if it's extraterrestrial or not, if it's by intelligent design or not, we don't know. We don't know that. There's no conclusion. There's no proof either way. But what we should do is question it. We should have an open mind to ask the right questions about it. In fact, what happens is we lean more towards the fact that it is by intelligent design and that it is something intelligent and purposeful in the universe. Otherwise, why would it be there? When I look at the trajectory, when I look at the way it behaves and the way it picks up acceleration, it takes advantage of that to be able to keep moving, as if the motion that it's taking is something that it wants to do. Are you following me? So this is the kind of open-minded thought. And then you have these other groups and the different vloggers and saying poo-poo on that idea or whatever. I don't know how you want to describe that. They're just antagonistic to the idea that, first of all, that's another example of arrogance. To think humanity is the only one that can plan to do something, and when we see something else that comes in that probably another extraterrestrial being or race or species is doing that, and we don't like it because that's not what we would do. We wouldn't make something like that, and it's off-gassing, and there's a lot of water vapor, and it turned green color, and it's not shaped like a rocket ship. It has like a cigar pancake shape or something, and we wouldn't do that. It's like a rock. We wouldn't do that. It would be more sleek, like a Tesla car, or it would be like a shape like a Corvette, or it's like, what are you fucking talking about? Pardon my French. So that is very arrogant to think that they know what every other being in the universe would do. Like, no, they wouldn't do that. But look, what it is doing is it's coming close to the sun. It's not hitting the sun. And it's going to use it, take advantage of all the physics and all the forces to move faster to where it wants to go next. I mean, if that's not similar to something that humans do when they go out traveling and joyriding, then I don't know what is. I'm being sarcastic. Basically, what I should say, what seems to be the fact, by logical deduction, that thing is doing something that we would do. In fact, I would conclude on this. If this is a sport that I know about, I'm not really so much into the professional side unless I have a deal with them and there's a sponsorship. What I like is just the game of it, like a child does. And I've been playing since I was a child. I'm actually quite good at it, and I enjoy myself. and I enjoy it when I'm with friends. I play the game. I play the sport. Now, this 3-eye atlas could be part of a sport. It's the aliens playing this game, and their playing field is the whole universe. It's the solar system and the galaxy. And the way they throw these things around, the ball or the frisbee or the puck, is this 3-eye atlas. And you have to get it exactly like a hole-in-one. You get to the sun, and then it keeps going. So it's a very complex, high-tech game. It's a sport for them.